Hi Renee. I decided to create this video for you just to give you an idea of how Cengage learning resources integrate with Canvas. It doesn't matter if you're using MindTap or if you were using Applia. The process is pretty much going to be the same. So hopefully this video will give you some clarity, and we can always schedule some time to talk, hopefully before your departure. So first, before I even talk about how to bring in your Cengage resources, I first like to give you an opportunity to see what it would look like once you started to pull in your Applia content or your MindTap content. I'm not sure which program you guys are going to use at this point, but again, the process is pretty much the same. So under your modules, you can have your different Cengage content set up. And these modules, for example, there's a week 1 module, a week 2 module. You would just set those up in Canvas just by adding a module. And once you get your organization settled, then from there you would start to bring in your different Cengage links. So for example, if I were to expand this particular link, there are links here, and this is for a different course, but I just want to kind of give you an opportunity to see what it looks like, and then I'll walk you through the process of bringing in the content for econ. But you basically have 2 options for bringing in your Cengage content. You can just provide one link to the students that would take them out to the Applia homepage or to the MindTap homepage. And your second option would be to bring in specific individual assignment links to, let's say you had an Applia assignment for chapter 1, you had an Applia assignment for chapter 2. You can bring in those links specifically into Canvas, and what this does is it allows for automatic grade synchronization. So when students complete that assignment, it would take them directly, it would take that score directly into the Canvas grade book. Now again, these aren't for econ, but I just wanted to give you a general idea of what the links look like when you do have them established. And now I'm going to take the next couple of minutes to show you how you would integrate your econ materials, whether it was for Applia or whether it was for MindTap. So basically, you start the process. If you were starting from scratch, this is your first time ever using any Cengage homework solution within Canvas, you would go to this Canvas link here in the navigation menu. Now, if you don't see it, it's just really a matter of you making it visible by going to your settings. So by clicking on settings and going to navigation, this is where you're going to see all of those menu items, and you can basically drag and drop and reorder. So I already have the Cengage option in my menu, but if I didn't, it would have appeared here in the list of items available for me, and then I would just simply would have dragged it from the bottom to the top. So I'll just kind of move it up closer to the top, right above my announcements. And then once you make that visible to yourself within this navigation screen, this is where you start to set things up. Now this Cengage link here, only you as the instructor see it, not your students. And this is for the purposes of setting up your course. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Cengage. And when I do this, I'm going to be presented with all of the different textbooks that are in use at HCCS. And you can always just kind of narrow down your search by typing in a keyword under this search field. So right here I can see that there is the Manque Principles of Econ, 7th edition for MindTap. And to set this up, I would just click on this link here. And the first time you do this as an instructor, you're going to be prompted to enter in your Cengage login credentials, the same credentials that you would have used in the past to log in directly at Cengage. So you just want to link your Cengage account up with Canvas, and that's going to, your login credentials would be your email address, your college email address. If you don't know your password, there's going to be a reset password option. And you'll only be prompted to enter those login credentials once. So that's why I'm not being prompted to enter my login credentials, because I've done it in the past. So you would enter in your instructor login credentials, and from here you're ready to create a course. If this is your first time using MindTap or your first time using Applia, then you can just go ahead and create a new course. If you've used MindTap or Applia in the past and you want to copy that same course, you would copy from one of your existing courses. If you have a colleague who maybe they set up a course and they've already made modifications to it and you wanted to use their course, then they would need to provide you with a course key, and you would use that in order to make a copy of their course. For today's purposes, I'm just going to say create a new course, and I'll call this my Econ 2302 home. This is MindTap, and you know, you may say something like summer 2016 or fall 2016. And then you would just choose your start date and your end date. So let's say your course started on the 30th of May. You would choose your start date, and then you would go in and choose your end date. And you're going to select your time zone. And you would click continue. And I'm just going to confirm that I want to add this link to Canvas. It tells me that it has successfully added that link to my learning management system. And now if I go to my modules and I scroll down to the very bottom, here is that link that I just added for my students to access MindTap. Or if you were using Applia, it would be a link to go out to the Applia homepage. So if I only wanted to direct my students to a Cengage homepage and I did not want to set up grade book columns for automatic grade synchronization, technically I could stop here. But I do want grade synchronization, and perhaps I even want to place my content within modules. So let's talk about how you would do that. So let's say for this econ class, I am teaching things on a weekly basis or on a modular basis. I would go in to start to organize my course. I'm going to call this module. I'll call this my module 1. I'll actually call it econ module 1. I'll click add module. And then let's do that again. Let's make just one more module just for today's training purposes or demo purposes. So I'll call this Econ Module 2. I'll go ahead and add my module. So now at the very bottom, here would be the modules where my students would start to go to access their content. And let's say in Module 1 I'm covering Chapter 1, and Module 2 I'm covering Chapter 2. So what I would do to add those assignment links for my students, I would go back to this Cengage link. This is where I always go anytime I want to pull over any Cengage content into Canvas. To kind of narrow down my search, or actually here's my book right here, but again you can always search by keyword here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my textbook again. This time, instead of asking me to create a course, it automatically recognizes that I've set up a course, and from here it's asking me what content do I want to select to add to Canvas. So let's say I'm going to go into this part 1. So here's my Chapter 1 content. And you can see that there's some Applia homework assignments in here. There's an ebook reading. So let's say I just wanted to assign this video, this ebook, and this Aplia homework. Well, you know what? Let's do it all. So here are 4 links that are in chapter 1. And you can see that 2 of these are graded assignments. And I know that because it has the option to add to the gradebook. So by default, you can see this add to gradebook box is checked. And I'm going to leave it checked because I do want the grades to go into the Canvas gradebook for my students. So here are my 4 assignments that I want to select for module 1. And then let's say for module 2, I wanted to select the following 4 links. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of those and leave these add to gradebook checked. I'll go ahead and confirm my selections, click save. It'll take a moment to redirect, but it's basically going to import those assignment links directly into Canvas. So now, if I go back to my modules area, I'm going to scroll down. Here are those different assignment links that I just pulled over. And from here, you can just drag and drop them into the appropriate module. So I know that these first 4, I definitely want them all to go into my module 1. So I'm just going to drag and drop them down here. So you can easily organize this content for your students. And then you would do the same thing for the module 2. So you just drag and drop it. And I'm just grabbing these little handles or these little 8 dots. And that's how I can drag and drop the content into the appropriate module that I set up. Now, as far as what this would look like for your students, when they're logged in and they're looking at the modules, and this also shows up for them under the assignments too. So if I were to go to this assignments area, any of those links that are graded, that are associated with points would show up in this assignments area. So here are those assignments that I brought over. So your students, they can either access them from the assignments area or from the modules area. And when they click on them, any publisher content that you use, it's always going to launch in a new window. But the great thing about this is it takes them specifically to that assignment that they should be working on. You can see it takes me directly to that homework assignment, and as a student I can work on this and say I'm done, grade my assignment now. So any activities that the students submit, those grades would show up in the Canvas gradebook. So I added some content in here. So here are the gradebook columns automatically created once I bring in those links to those homework assignments or to those graded assignments. And as my students begin to enroll into my course, then I'm going to see their scores after they submit their assignments. And the great thing about integrating Aplia or MindTap with Canvas is the students, they're not going to need a course key. The only thing they need to do is register, is log into Canvas. They'll click on any of those links to any of your Cengage assessments or homework assignments. And when they do that, they're going to be prompted to create an account, and they'll be prompted to enter in an access code. They still have access to the grace period if they don't have an access code. And then once they create that account one time, they'll never have to create an account again, or they'll never have to log in to MindTap or Aplia again. When they're logged into Canvas, they'll automatically be logged into their Cengage materials. So hopefully this was clear. I am still going to reach out to you to give you a call, but I just created this just in case I couldn't reach you today or tomorrow or before you leave.